once again, another beautiful day on the gorgeous Gold Coast here in Queensland, in beautiful Australia. Today I want to have a talk about wounds and wounds that are so small we either get lost in life from attaching to those wounds, or we minimize them. Oh, don't worry about that. Oh yeah, that happened to me, but that's okay. Yeah, I had a tough upbringing, but no, that's fine. That's life. Or I've had a bad experience, but that's okay. And any other rational approach or minimizing approach to wounds that we might come up with because the way we've protected ourselves from the pain that we experienced. Now, I can only go to mine, and maybe me going to mine might trigger something within you. When I was in the schoolyard, a girl who I was attracted to when I was very young in primary school said, yeah, I'll be Dean's girlfriend if Dean washes his clothes. And I started looking at my clothes, I remember as a little kid going, what's up with me? But there was conditions straight away, and I started becoming conscious of being accepted in a boyfriend-girlfriend situation if I was a certain way. Now that wound was there. It started a trigger in me. And there was other times when I would be stirred or made fun of by people at school. Fireball 5000, they used to call me. That was a cartoon on television. Ginger Megs was another cartoon on television. Red Rooster, Orange Top, Freckle Face. Used to get angry at this stuff. It hurt me. It hurt me inside. But I didn't think that was words. So the way I dealt with that, I attacked them. I slapped them. You hurt me, and the way and I created a coping mechanism. And they thought twice then when I started putting a couple on their chins and freaking going, yeah, Fireball 5000, well here's Fireball 5000, bang. How's that? Did Fireball 5000 hurt you there? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Didn't mean it, but got to defend myself, I'm hurt. I couldn't marry anything up there as far as wounds in my soul. I just wanted to hurt people back for these wounds. And People do other things when they're wounded. They might strive to become something better. But we all, it appears, we all create an identity from wounds in some aspect. If you look back to when you had wounds as a child, and everyone can relate, maybe not in the schoolyard, maybe outside with friends, saying to you things that hurt you, and you either, well, you can go internalize it all too. You can become a recluse in it all, where you avoid completely, or you go into self-harm. Those wounds might come from family. My father and my siblings, well, one of my siblings, he used to reject me. Like I would try to gain that person's acceptance, and that person used to, get away, you little prick, you know. Yeah, like big brother kind of little brother. That hurt me. So I was always kind of chasing acceptance there after that. And when that didn't work, I avoided it. I thought, okay, you reject me, I'll reject you. Again, reaction from wounds. Every one of us has got them. Every one of us has got wounds. And then I can remember there was kids that called me ugly. And that wound, my God. Didn't I want to kill them for that one? That really hurt me, calling me ugly. How dare they? How dare they call me ugly? Freaking call me ugly, eh? I'll show you. I'll show you how ugly I am. But it shattered me. It made it, and I could look at their motives why people do things, or we can all look at their motives. But that kind of doesn't heal the wound. And being angry towards the wound, or, hurting yourself because of the wound, or doing things where you want to prove to the world that you're not wounded and you are something more than your wounds in your life. That's all great, but it doesn't heal the wound. You go through your whole life with a wound. It doesn't heal it. And then the old man, my father, you ugly little bastard. But when he said it, I believed it. When the other kids said it to me, I wanted to hurt them. But when my father said it, I believed it. And that was worse. That was worse. So just remember also, be aware of what you say to the people that you love. Because you could be wounding these people and you're not even realising it because of your own wounds. Exactly what we do when we're in pain and we get wounds as children, we want to react. We could be doing that in loving relationships now, and you wouldn't even be aware that you're doing that stuff. And all that's doing is creating a wedge. So anyway, that's a separate issue. So we go through our lives with these wounds that we minimise, or we could start taking drugs because of them. That's another thing. A lot of people drink a lot of alcohol or smoke a lot of pot because their wounds are not healed. And blaming people for your wound does not heal it. First you've got to see it. And you got to come to a point where you see it has an impact. Be that how small it is. Be that how small that is. It only takes a touch of cyanide to kill you. Small things matter. One raindrop makes up trillions and trillions of pieces of water that can flood the earth. Little things, little wounds. We've got to see these wounds. Because if you don't see your wounds, and if you don't do nothing about your own wounds, instead of minimising wounds, instead of rationalising wounds, because you've protected yourself all your life, you won't be free. You will not be free. You will always be reactive. You will always be at the mercy of you being motivated to prove something. It all comes back to the wound. All comes back to that wound when you're a kid. Either in the schoolyard or your peers or your friends, all comes back to the wound. And you can never be enough if you don't deal with the little wounds in your life. You can never, ever, ever be enough. You can never be complete. There will always be something missing. You can protect yourself. You've proven it. You can show people what you're capable of. I'll guarantee you've proven that too. You can portray whatever you want to people, work, professional stuff, whatever. You've done that. Easy. But that's not going to make you happy in the long term. That won't do it. We've got to go back and fix what needs to be fixed so we can get out of our unhappiness today, or get out of behaviours that are destructive, that have come from wounds. It could be drug taking, it could be overeating, it could be, sexual behaviour. Line them up. Could be success. It could be, nothing is ever good enough. You got money, you want more money. It just doesn't stop because it's not healed. They're not healed. And it's only when you can see that and you can start looking at healing yourself. And I show people this in my life coaching. I show people this on all levels of status in society. People that are super rich, people that aren't super rich, people that are very good in sport, professionals, people that abuse themselves on drugs, people that struggle in relationships with one another. It just goes on and on and on of where these wounds have come from and how they have an impact in a life after you've achieved, or alternatively abused yourself. So that's a little thing on wounds. Go back to them. Don't disregard them. Don't minimise them. They're very important to look at, and they're very important to talk about. That's the way you heal the wound. You've got to go back to that child. You've got to go back to that pain. You've got to go back to that abuse. If you don't go back to it, it's a second nature and a second existence that you will live to the day you die. Yeah, you'll get through, like all of us, but you can get through better if you get motivated to heal the wounds of the past. You have a good day now and look after yourselves. Take care now.